What's good, superstars? Back with another digital collecting video. You got Superstar Joe. You got Superstar Rob in the building. How's it going?
How's it? Pretty good, man. You?
Not bad, not bad, not bad. Big hammers being thrown today by the SEC. We're going to get into that. But guys, if you're new here, do not forget, become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell notification. So you know, whenever we post some breaking news like we had today, you can also become a superstar VIP. $2.99 a month. Hit the join button under the video. You get one of these stars next to your name. Level up through the stars as you hold on for longer, and you'll get more entries into the giveaways every single month. Follow us on X. Follow us on Instagram. Join the Discord. Discord is the place where you can learn about all of the happenings in the entire Web3 space. We have chat for every single project that we come across that people want to talk about, and they've been active. The last few days, Discord has been popping. I've been seeing so many people intermingling in all the different chats, so very cool to see that. So yeah, definitely go check out the Discord.
Make sure you guys join as well. We got the security challenge going on right now. We're in the last week. So it looks like we do have the numbers are in. I think you can still join, though. I don't think it's too late. I think if there's any new entries, you can still get on this board. But it's going to be based on the number of points you scored throughout the competition. So we're going to do almost like a draft. And if you get selected at the top of the draft, almost like the NHL draft, you're going to get first pick on whatever you would like. So it's pretty cool. If you guys just go next year, Joe, there's lots of amazing prizes. We got the physical sketch from Shawnee Poo. Let's keep going. We got the physical sketch from Times 2. Digital sketch from Edis Khan, physical sketch from Davo, and then all those other digital NFTs. McFarlane Digital, we got Elmon X, got Cryptoys, we got and more Cryptoys and McFarlane. We got some more uncommon podcasts. We got I think this one here. We got the golden ticket, the OG one, and then we got more Cryptoys here, especially some cool Cryptoys accessories. Remember those? So it's pretty cool.
Starboy in there.
Starboy right there. And he labeled it as the best damn utility NFT ever in history. Let's go. Let's go.
There you go.
All right.
All right. So, there's been a lot of big news. I think, Rob, you have maybe the main tweet over there from D. Finzer, or no?
I've actually lost it along the way here.
Okay, I'll pull it up here. I got it.
In our discussion.
So, anyways, the breaking news is that OpenSea was given a Wells notice. Basically, that's like their notice that they're going to be targeted in some kind of a lawsuit for having NFTs as securities, or allowing NFTs to be transferred, and then basically saying your platform's allowing unregistered securities to move around without having them reported to the SEC. So you got this whole write-up. This is from the founder of OpenSea, Devin Finzer. So OpenSea has received a Wells notice from the SEC threatening to sue us because they believe the NFTs on our platform are securities. We're shocked the SEC would make such a sweeping move against creators and artists, but we're ready to stand up and fight. Cryptocurrencies have long been in the crosshairs of the SEC, and companies like Coinbase, Uniswap, Robinhood, Kraken, and Consensus have been fighting against the SEC's single-track approach of regulation by enforcement. But this is a move into uncharted territory. By targeting NFTs, the SEC would stifle innovation on an even broader scale. Hundreds of thousands of online artists and creatives are at risk, and many do not have the resources to defend themselves. NFTs are fundamentally creative goods, art, collectibles, video game items, domain names, event tickets, and more. We should not regulate digital art in the same way we regulate collateralized debt obligations. As we've built OpenSea, we've heard so many stories about the impact of NFTs on people's lives, including student artists, indie games, passionate collectors, etc. It would be a terrible outcome if creators stopped making digital art because of the regulatory saber rattling. Take, for example, the suit filed against the SEC by the musician Songa Diamond. And basically, there's a bunch of examples, and he's saying that he hopes that the SEC comes to their senses sooner rather than later, and they'll listen with an open mind. Until then, we'll stand up and fight for the industry. I think they even say here they're willing to pledge $5 million to help cover legal fees for other NFT creators that receive Wells notices from the SEC. So they're standing behind it. I know that the entire community has been coming together around this from people from other projects. We can get into that as well and read some of those comments. But Rob, what do you think this means for our favorite digital collectible platforms?
Well, first of all, I got to circle back there on OpenSea. I got to have a couple thoughts I want to share. Why would SEC even go after OpenSea. OpenSea is a marketplace. There's no KYC, there's no cash out. It's a place where you come in. It's a true Web3. You link your wallet. You can list your collectible or in this case, your NFT for sale. And if someone buys it, the funds are immediately transferred to your personal wallet. The NFT is immediately transferred to the other person's wallet, and OpenSea may take a fee in that transaction, right? So you have ways that they're making money, and they're doing it through hundreds and hundreds, not thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. I mean, it's just going to scale as the years go on. It's going to scale. There's going to be more and more projects. So the way I see this is that the SEC cannot possibly regulate every NFT project. So why not go after the biggest platforms that enable their sales? So it doesn't matter. Not all. I mean, you could argue some projects are securities versus others, but we know that not all NFTs are securities. There's a lot. It's very subjective. We're going to go over it. But even if you have one that meets the Howey test, that could be argued as a security, it's very difficult for the SEC to constantly go after them. So I think what they're thinking is let's make an example. Let's take out OpenSea. Let's try to win the case with OpenSea, make them liable and responsible for policing the industry so that people don't go on their platform with security NFTs. And if they allow it, well, by extension, they're liable. So they can do the SEC's work for them. So I think that this is what this is all about. But let's continue, because SEC has also directly sued NFT projects before. One of them that I'm going to bring up is on August 31st, 2023. This was posted, and it was a company called Impact Theory. So this is a unique. Every single situation is unique. But about a year ago, almost to the day, they've begun this crusade against NFTs, and I think we're going to see more and more of this, and it may eventually translate to digital licensed IP, because they're big names in digital licensed IP, and it would be an easy target, in my opinion, for the SEC to go after IP, which is some of the biggest companies in the world that are participating in the NFT world.
Yeah, I want to show a couple things here. So I mentioned earlier that this was breaking news, and it's making headlines across the entire crypto Web3 space. A big ticket comment was from Tyler Winklevoss, basically co-creator of Facebook. He's no stranger to lawsuits, obviously, in his lawsuit with Mark Zuckerberg early on with his brother. But the SEC is now trying to claim that NFTs are securities. What's next? Baseball cards, comic books. Gary Gensler's bad faith and un-American war on crypto is expanding. Digital Web3 creators and artists are now in the crosshairs. So, I mean, a lot of these words are going to sound very familiar to people who watch the channel, and they see what we cover on this channel. Comic books being one of them. Baseball card, like, are collectibles going to be the next thing? That's what he's saying, that the SEC cracks down on. And if they aren't, why not? If digital collectibles are of the same tooth, right? There's something that people buy to collect. I also want to bring this one up. This is Roham. This is the CEO of Dapper Labs. Everybody knows Dapper Labs from Top Shot, Disney Pinnacle, CryptoKitties, the inventors of the word NFT. So obviously he's going to have a lot to say. NFTs that are not financial in nature are clearly not securities, and most lawmakers we interface with understand this. We at Dapper Labs are working towards legal clarity for NFTs through forthcoming legislation to be introduced in Congress, and support OpenSea in their fight as well. So you got a lot of people coming together in the space to try and at least get some clarity on this, and maybe educate the SEC, it seems, when it comes to what these things are that people are actually buying and selling on these platforms. And Roham, obviously, he's no stranger to fighting for what his product and all that stuff, because obviously they've settled a major lawsuit not too long ago as well, which seemed like it was kind of, it's going to be the staple where people look back to and move forward. But I think the big thing here is that the clarity is not there, obviously, but there's people out there who are, I guess, the cryptos that are getting sued by the SEC. They seem to have been winning their cases, and in my opinion, like, the crypto is almost more of a security than an NFT. NFTs are unique identifiers. Each NFT could be a different value. there's projects that are one of one NFTs that are sold on OpenSea. Like, where do you start? Where do you stop? It's like you mentioned earlier, like you can't possibly track every single one and be able to make a group statement on it. Obviously, there should be some kind of regulation in terms of what could be allowed in an NFT project. But I think to say that every single one is a security might not be the right way to go here.
I think what's happening here with guys like Roham, for example, what's his name, Winklevoss?
Yeah,
is it Winklevoss?
Winklevoss, yeah.
I think what they're doing is they're sort of, it's a weird argument that's going on right now. I think they're saying one thing, which I agree with, but I don't think the SEC is saying that. Okay, I think the SEC is not. They're not complete idiots. I think they know that not every NFT is going to meet the threshold of the Howey test. I don't know, Joe, if you could bring up the Howey test points. So we could just quickly just go through what meets the threshold of security. I think, in my personal opinion, it is possible for an NFT project to hit that line. Okay, it's when it comes down to what a security is. These are the four things. It doesn't meet the Howey test. So number one, is there an investment opportunity? Is it an investment of money? Are people doing this because they're investing in a project? In the NFTs world, it would be investing in a project. I'm buying this NFT with the expectation that it's going to go up in combination that I'm buying into a common enterprise, which is basically like your NFT will be linked to a project. So if you're buying any NFT that's linked to a project, it could meet the threshold of a common enterprise. You have the expectation you're going to make money. If the team does well and the team delivers on all these things, which they sold me, they came up and said, hey, buy my NFT. This is my plan. This is what I want to do. If you buy this, it'll be linked to our success. Then you have an expectation of profit. And then lastly, it's derived from the efforts of others, which would be the team. So you're in this gray area that's very different than physical collectibles. I've never seen a physical collectible meet this. When someone's buying a baseball card, you're not meeting this. You're not being sold on any kind of, project where we are going to put in the effort. You may be buying it because you think you're going to be able to flip it and make money. You may be buying collectibles because you think that they're going to be scarce and rare and you're going to make money in the future. But that alone is not enough to make it a security. On the flip side, if I'm an NFT project and I go and I start telling people, hey guys, buy my NFT project. Here's my roadmap. This is what I'm going to do to produce value. So if you buy this, you're linked to me. You're linked to me and my project, my company. And you should expect to make profit. This is what I'm going to do to help you get profit. And we're going to do the work to make that happen. I think when that happens, you're in the gray area now that an NFT can actually be treated like a security because of the ease of fractional scalability and verification of ownership. So I don't think this is a black and white case. And then you have, all these guys commenting on art, digital artists. Like, it's, in my opinion, it's like they're talking about two different things. They're looking two different ways. I don't think SEC is that dumb to be going just after the digital artist who made art and just wants to sell it to people. I think they're going after the projects that are saying, hey, if you buy this, I'm going to raise funds to then do this, this, and this, and then your NFT project's going to be worth more money so you can sell it for a profit. And I think that's what they're going after, and they're going to use OpenSea as an example to try to force them to regulate it so the SEC doesn't have to do it.
Exactly. I think that the marketplace is not, like you said, not necessarily the actual culprit here. I think that if they host they might host some of the culprits. But basically, like you mentioned, I think this is why we see with some of the bigger IP like Disney and why they don't like doing things after they drop something, right? You drop something and then you do something to increase the value directly, like burning or getting rid of things that you didn't say you were going to do before you made the sale. That will impact value and that will provide expectation of profits, right? Like it'll help to increase. It'll be an effort by others. It starts to fill the points here that you see here. So I think that's why we know that Disney likes to announce things up front. Their lawyers are very on top of what securities are. So if you were ever wondering why can't they burn Disney collectibles after the fact without announcing them up front, that might be one reason. But I do think another thing that we have to understand here is that the value for these projects has to be created naturally, organically. It has to be something that people want to hold because they enjoy the utility, or whatever it is that these things do for you. If you're buying something off of a promise that in the future it will be worth more, that's going to start to give you a red flag. And if there's nothing else to do, really, what is it doing for you besides being a store of value that you hope in time with more users becomes worth more? So I think once that's the case and there's no other real use cases other than holding this thing long term, I think that that's something that you might want to be worried about, or at least consider thinking about down the line what's going to happen here. Because I think when you buy something, you can use it for a reason, play a game, whatever it is. If people naturally come in and want that because of natural demand, that there is something that people want to do, play with, less likely that it is something that was promised as a value booster or an increase in value. When people sell something to you and that's all that it is, and then down the line there's some expectation of burning or whatever to lower supply, when there's comments or conversations about bringing the market values up long term, I think that's the stuff that's really people and these companies really got to be careful with. And I think that a lot of them have done a really good job of how they word things and how they do that. And I think it might be because of the IPs that they do have that are kind of telling them like, yo, you can't do that. Yes, you can do that. Or else I think there probably would be a lot more mistakes in the space, especially the licensed collectible space.
You got to remember too, Joe, that some of the companies that we track came back in 2018, and some of them are on record actually calling these things alternative investments, right? Like these are alternative investments. Now, I think for the early projects, I think they could always argue that they existed in a framework of less regulation, and maybe they should not be treated with the same, because they said that, they should not be treated with the same, discipline action as a newer project that comes out now that has more regulation or more precedents that they can look at before, they put out a project. So I think maybe that helps benefit, but we do know that if at any time these things were marketed as an alternative investment, if they were marketed as something that could be an investment, it could be a big problem. And because with licensed IP, you have very large, very rich companies that are involved, I think the SEC may draw their eye to digital licensed IP at some point just for that reason. I do also think that some of the old NFT projects like that just got popular because of their historic value. Like some of the crypto punks, for example, like I'm not aware that these projects were released with any kind of roadmap. They were just released as digital art and people bought them up, and they bought them up maybe as an investment, but there was no linked common enterprise by the team of that project that they were going to do anything to promise anyone else more money. So I think that some of the early projects are not what they mean by OpenSea has securities on their platform. I think it's the ones that are raising funds, making sales in an effort to create profit. And those are the ones that could potentially be on OpenSea that may actually meet the threshold. So when I see all these guys on Twitter talking about art, artists, all these things, I mean, maybe I haven't read the official. I think you could get the real document of the lawsuit. I think it's public information. I haven't read that. But if I understand correctly, the SEC is going to just go after the ones that meet that threshold, not just the guy who wanted to make digital art. So this is crazy. It's crazy if you think about it.
I think that too, like, just the more I think of it, I'm like, how could NFTs be more of a security than cryptocurrency? And like, we know that Coinbase, like SEC has been losing lawsuits here over the last 6-7 months, back to back, like losses against some of these crypto platforms. And then NFTs are more of an investment than a crypto, which the crypto literally does nothing except be a store of value for, like, there's roadmaps to make it worth more money. Like, and that is passing the Howey test. I find it difficult to think that OpenSea is going to lose this easily, because they have now way more precedent than maybe what was the other one? Impact. What was it called? Impact or whatever.
Theories. Yeah.
Impact theories. So I mean, but that is also now a precedent for OpenSea, that Impact Theory had this type of deal. So I mean, it would all get down to the nitty gritty. Did OpenSea ever advertise as a place to make money? I have no idea what all of that is in the background, but I just think it's like, in my mind, the cryptocurrency is way more of a security chance than an NFT, just based off of what those 4 points are. Just that you think crypto, right? But I don't know. We'll see.
It's the same thing. Like when the SEC, for example, had that whole bout with Ripple. Ripple they successfully argued that they did not sell their coin in a way that was problematic to retail investors. And I think that part of the reason why, again, it's so subjective. It just comes down to like, how was it sold? Like if a cryptocurrency was sold in a way where they went to go find investors, the investors had the expectation that if they paid for this coin, that they would profit through some kind of roadmap. I don't see why a cryptocurrency could not meet the same threshold as an NFT. Really, an NFT or a crypto, through the verification of ownership, they could be used the exact same way. It all stems to blockchain technology in the end. It's just one has metadata and one doesn't.
Yeah,
so
NFTs are unique identifiers. That's, I think, like you don't really identify each individual Bitcoin that you have as whatever, you know what I mean? So that's what I was kind of getting at. It's more like a share when it's common.
And the way I see this is, even if they're not directly linked to each other, as long as they're all linked to a project, that could be, in my opinion, the common enterprise that they're going to go after, right? Because you could have 1,000 different unique NFTs, and some are more scarce than others. So someone could argue, well, the value of that one is not the same as the value of that one. They're not all equally valuable, but they may be all equally tied to some project, which is going to produce value through some means. And at the beginning of the project, they promised that they would do that and sold to their investors. So I think a cryptocurrency could meet that threshold as well. But again, it's still early days in the regulations. It's just really all starting to come out right now. We'd love to hear your thoughts, guys. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that your favorite digital collectible company or digital toy company, are they going to get sued? Let us know in the comments below. If you haven't already, don't forget. Become a superstar, smash the subscribe button, and join the Superstar fam. Hit the bell notification to get every single video, every single day. Also, Superstar VIP, tune in a month. Stop with such a special guys. Thank you so much. Take care. See you next one.
Bye.